At Healthcare Partners Medical Group, our mission is to provide the highest quality of healthcare to each and every patient. With 5 locations in Pahrump, we are local doctors you know and trust. We want to thank you for choosing us. Quality care starts here.
News 46 is brought to you by Southwest Medical Associates. Look for news about their latest healthcare center opening soon in your neighborhood. Southwest Medical Associates. Now that's powerful medicine. News 46 is also brought to you by Red Apple Fireworks. You've never seen anything like it. Nevada's elite fireworks shopping experience. Red Apple Fireworks. News 46 is also brought to you by Markham Title Company, your local escrow company for the last 23 years.
Will an agreement be reached before the debt ceiling deadline? The town board advises an advisory board to buy local. A response to last night's town board meeting. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Rick Vale and Rhonda Van Winkle. Local coverage from Deanna O'Donnell and news across Nevada with Janet Eric. News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, July 27th, 2011. I'm Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. Divided down party lines, Congress can't seem to do what it has done during many other administrations, raise the debt ceiling. Congress has successfully voted to raise the debt limit 11 times since 1997. House Republican leaders continued their reluctant caucus to support a bill to raise the federal debt ceiling with Speaker John Boehner, even as reports surfaced that a Republican staffer was working with outside groups to bury his proposed plan. August 2nd is the actual date which the Obama administration and most economists say the United States and the world faces an economic catastrophe without a deal to raise the debt ceiling. Lawmakers have still not agreed on a deal to protect the full faith and credit of the United States. At the same time, Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, who is also struggling to keep a similar bill alive in his chamber, got the same bad news from the Congressional Budget Office today that Boehner received. The Congressional Budget Office sword fell on Reid's debt ceiling plan, slicing its projected savings from $2.7 trillion to $2.2 trillion over 10 years. It had rendered a similar verdict on Boehner's last-ditch effort, ruling that it would only save an estimated $850 billion instead of about $1 trillion over the same period. Boehner's projected savings are smaller than Reid's because the Speaker's bill would raise the $14.3 trillion debt limit in 2 stages and would defer cuts to expensive entitlement programs until later. Republicans insist that any bill that raises the ceiling, at the very least, reduce spending by an equal amount. After the Congressional Budget Office's verdict came down, Boehner vowed to rewrite the legislation to yield the desired savings. That forced the House leadership to postpone a vote until tomorrow. Reid now must return to the drawing board, especially since the prospects for success of his bill rest on whether he can persuade a handful of GOP senators to sign on and ward off a filibuster. I'm Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. At Pahrump Town Board meeting last night, the town board tabled agenda item number 9 until the next meeting in 2 weeks. The discussion and possible decision to approve the recommendation from the Pahrump Tourism and Convention Council Advisory Board to award RFP 2011-01, the Pahrump Promotional video to M Creative Group in the amount not to exceed $11,105. M Creative Group is based out of California. KPVM also bid on this video.
I don't know if it would be fair to ask you why Channel 41 was not selected, because if it's fair to ask you that, I'd sure like an answer, because I've been asked that myself and I don't have an answer, not being involved with the subcommittee.
Bottom line is a disparity in the amount that they proposed it would cost. I mean, something is wrong here, and I don't know if it'd be appropriate enough, but if Vern wants to come over here and talk, he told me that that he was asked to propose a video at a cost less than what we're looking here to approve. So he seems to have misunderstood something or whatever. So I'm wondering if these other people did. You know, that it just doesn't make sense to me. If they all understood the thing the same, then the proposal should be relatively close in price, but they're not. I mean, that's unbelievable. 200,000 or 6,000? Something just doesn't seem right to me.
I wholeheartedly support the volunteers on our advisory boards, and you have the expertise, and that's one of the reasons we come to you and want you to advise us so that we can make, I guess, an intelligent decision. I guess I am also very strongly in favor of looking locally, no matter what the situation. When we say we're unbiased, I am very biased in favor of local businesses, and we should always look there first. And I'm asked that question, no matter what we vote on, I'm asked the question, did you look locally? And so that's why I have to always ask that question.
There's a legal question that the attorney brought up. We need to request, and it's going to upset some people, but we need to request that this be tabled until the next town board meeting, because we need to check out the legality of an issue that was brought up, and we just need to do that. So we're asking for this item. We're asking the town board to please table this until Brett can look into the issue at hand.
And coming up after the break, a response to last night's town board meeting. Keep it here. And welcome back. Owner of KPVM, Vernon Van Winkle, responded to the Pahrump Tourism and Convention Council's advisory board's recommendation to give the award to an out-of-state company.
Yeah, I think that, the idea of producing a video for the town of Pahrump is fantastic. As you know, Deanna, in 2001, KPVM produced this exact video. As a matter of fact, the outline that they have outlined in the proposal was almost verbatim, 95% near exact to what I created in 2001, which is good that they're using the concepts of what we created so that they can get that information out to bring in economic and tourism. Here's where the downfall comes into play and what held it up last night. The challenge is that I met with one of their board members as well as one of the officials from the town office on this project. I asked them what the budget was going to be. They reluctantly said, $7,500. And I thought, wow. Because I knew that when I first put out the bid that I created was going to be at least $10,000 to $12,000 to do the video that they wanted. However, in 2001, I created the exact same video, and there's two versions of this video. The first version that has been created, and the only version that has been created, is called the offline version. What that basically means is that you go in, you produce an idea and a concept, you lay out the words, you lay out the music, you lay out the video, but yet it's not sweetened. You don't go back in, it's not developed to where it's polished at the end. It's an idea to show somebody this is what we're able to do. So I went to the town board back in 2001, I think I went to them in 2004 as well, and asked them to purchase the video. And they said they couldn't afford it and they couldn't do that. I then went to the Chamber of Commerce and they also said we can't budget this. So the real estate developers in town we showed it to, the real estate agents in town, and of course the public officials thought the video was very well done. They thought it was exactly on point to what they needed, and they wanted to use the video. So I said, well, it's really not done at this particular point in time, but they said it's done enough for what we need to do. So what we did at that particular point in time is we went ahead and released the video so that they could use it for information. All inside, I'm thinking, well, we really should probably finish this video up and get it done properly, customize it to the town so that it has their name, their logos, their information on it, so that it has a real good feeling to it. Well, recently they went to a big convention in Quark's Quartzsite, and doing so they realized how many people are promoting their businesses and their towns through the means of video and through communication through the website. Well, as you know, KPVM has its own website, has its own videos playing on its website, all YouTube videos as well. We used to use another company, and we're always demonstrating what's going on in Pahrump on the website. So when this bid proposal came out, they awarded it or recommended an award to a California company. And I thought that's just absolutely ludicrous that here KPVM has created this video in the analog world in 2001. Now keep in mind, today is 2011. We have now created the new world called digital, which KPVM has just spent a ton of money on increasing all of our equipment, all of our technology, added additional channels, high definition cameras, high definition studio cameras, all this extra expense for the requirement that the government has asked us to do. In return, we can use it for these type of programs. Pahrump video has been requested. So we have all the capabilities. We provided for them a look at the Pahrump video so they can see what it was. And we provided it a little reluctantly because we knew it was $10,000 to $12,000 to do the project. But we thought, you know what? This is going to benefit the town. We've already created this video in the past. Why not give them the opportunity to utilize it, put the budget out at their maximum amount, which was given to me by 2 different people. One was on the committee. One was at the meeting last night. James, long-haired, pony-haired guy. Very nice guy, came, toured the facility. His exact words when he left the station were, I can see that you obviously can do the project for us. Those were his exact words when he left. And I had a budget of $7,500 to do it. So I felt, okay, let's help the town. Let's put the budget out for $7,500. Let's do it and get it done so that they can attract more people. Well, what happened is that they now have, in reality, a $16,000 budget.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
Knowing that I went the extra mile to make sure that we can get this done at a reasonable price. But what's more frustrating is that they brought in a California company. In this video, the requirements require several times during the year different events and activities to be recorded. Yeah. So that California company bid this at $11,000. Which is a challenge because they have to come to Pahrump each time to record each one of those events. Okay, that's 250 miles to Pahrump, 250 miles back, possibly 2 technicians, and a hotel stay. 7 times.
Yeah.
Okay, now, you take that exact same video that I created, which is in an offline format. However, it was good enough for the real estate people at that time. It was good enough for the developers at that time. And it was good enough for the town officials to use on a frequent basis. All we have to do is go in and reshoot all these things again in high definition, because we've gone from analog to high definition, and then put a little polish on it, because we never put the polish on, as I mentioned to you before. Put the polish on the video. They will have a video equal to what they are requesting, and that they were wowed by the California company, that they want to take the money, the tax dollars that they earn from the tourism board, and put it into a California company. I just find it very frustrating. Now, I did talk to both the town manager, and I've talked to Kelly Buffy this morning and discussed all this with her. Kelly Buffy, in her defense, did not know that I was given the $7,500 budget, and that was the extent of her. That was the extent of my offering. She did mention that there was an additional RFP that went out, which I never saw. Yeah. If there was an additional budget or a different raised in budget or a different RFP requesting that there was no cap, I never knew about that.
And we'll have more on tomorrow night's newscast with our own Vern Van Winkle in his response to agenda item number 9 on the town board. And here's our own Zach Fuentes, who's going to update us in the world of entertainment with your entertainment this week.
I'm Zach Fuentes with your entertainment this week. This weekend, the music world lost a legend. Amy Winehouse was found dead in her apartment in Britain on Saturday. Winehouse was only 27 years old. As devastating as this loss is, however, many are not too surprised, as the star was known to have had problems with drugs and alcohol for most of her career. In fact, her death comes a month after a disastrous performance in Serbia, in which she staggered around the stage and had trouble remembering the words to her own songs. Prior to the performance, she had checked herself into rehab, but checked herself out a few days later. Winehouse's funeral was held on Tuesday and included music producer Mark Ronson and reality TV star Kelly Osbourne. An autopsy held on Monday did not determine a cause of death, but police are waiting results from a toxicology test. On a lighter note, the 13-year-old son of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver is out of the hospital following a surfing accident in California. He suffered a collapsed lung and broken bones and was in intensive care. Schwarzenegger issued a statement on his Twitter page thanking everyone for their support. Shriver thanked the doctors and nurses that cared for their son. The couple are still, however, in the midst of a divorce. Tuesday, Walmart began streaming videos online with over 20,000 titles that can be watched on just about any device that has internet. The movies are available at walmart.com to rent for $1 to $5.99 or to purchase for $4.99 and up. Senior Vice President and General Manager of Walmart.com said that the movie offering fits in with the Walmart website's strategy of offering a seamless, continuing shopping service. Captain America: The First Avenger made a big debut this weekend, taking in $65.1 million, stealing the #1 spot from Harry Potter and pushing it down to the 2nd position. Friends with Benefits starring Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis is at #3. Transformers: Dark of the Moon is still in the top 5 at #4, and Horrible Bosses is at #5. I'm Zach Fuentes, and that was your entertainment this week.
And thank you so much, Zach. Animal-assisted therapy is a relatively new field of study. Although the human-animal bond has existed for thousands of years, animal-assisted therapy is a type of therapy that involves animals as a form of treatment. The goal of animal-assisted therapy is to improve a patient's social, emotional, or cognitive functioning. They can also be useful for educational and motivational effectiveness for patients. We speak to Chris Harris about his proposed bird therapy business he hopes to open here in Pahrump.
This is Cielo. She is a hybrid conure. She was raised from an egg to be a therapy bird. She is half sun and half Jinde conure.
So tell me about the birds and a little bit about yourself.
Well, basically, I train them for magicians in Las Vegas, entertainers. We've done Cirque du Soleil, the History Channel. I was just out in Hollywood for 3 months training them for this guy, Alan Ball. He made a show called True Blood on HBO. And basically, in 2007, my son Gabriel was diagnosed with reactive attachment disorder. And I found that the birds kind of bring him out of his shell. And so I wanted to start doing this. I've been working on it since 2007, raising them from an egg to be therapy birds. And we are finally on the process of becoming nonprofit, and we're going to be called Featherpeutic out here between Las Vegas, California, here in Pahrump. But the thing is my family's out here, and so are all the birds. So we're going to be based out of Pahrump, even though we're going to be doing the whole, West Coast. We're going to be out here mostly,
Wonderful. You have some shows coming up. So I know that we're here at Smiles Across Pahrump, and the kids are having a great time getting to know the birds and everything. And kids do react to these very quickly. You're having some shows that are coming up. People are invited to come see? Yes.
Well, right now, we do a lot of kids shows, but right now we have upcoming at the Beehive at 821 East Ambush. That's Monday at 11:30. And then again, Wednesday at 3 o'clock at the Pahrump Rehab. And, if anyone in here sees this and, you work at a school or something like that and you want us to come by, just give me a call. My number is 775-513-4078.
Wonderful. And then how many birds do you have?
Well, between 3 different states right now, probably about 70.
I know that we have a baby one that's in the cage right now. Tell us about that one.
Well, that one, her name is Pebbles. She was shipped to me on a nonstop flight from Orlando, Florida to LAX. I picked her up, and we've been raising her ever since, feeding her every couple hours. She's a rose-breasted cockatoo, a little pink, pretty cockatoo that's going to be a flight-trained little showbird for all the kids and everybody.
So you train these birds. Tell me a little bit about that.
How do you have a bird that can fly and give it choice? You have to make it want to do what you want it to do. So we find things like a favorite treat that motivates the bird. And we take Cielo here and do things like roll over, and she turns over like that. And, like just little tricks like that. We give them the little treats, and it motivates them. It's the secret is finding what the bird likes, what's going to make it want to do this stuff. So
Cielo can fly. She can fly away right now.
Yes, she could fly away right now, but thankfully nature gives them a little harness. When they leave the nest in the wild, they have to stay close to the parents and learn how to survive. Yeah. So I can take her out and do this without that much fear, and I can shape the behavior from the very beginning. Basically.
She really is attached to you. Birds are very personable, aren't they?
Yes, they, I believe, have the capacity to love. They've been seen flying in the wild so close their wingtips touch, and 20 years ago, my mom had birds, they were all wild caught, direct from the jungle to your living room, screaming, biting. Now we hand raise them, and they think they're humans,
Beautiful. And so for more information, people can give you a call and to have shows. You're willing to go to the schools, to different events, and I'm so glad you came out here to Smiles Across Pahrump too as well.
Thank you. Yes, we do own featherpeutic.org and featherpeutic.com. We will have websites up soon, and again, you can call me at 775-513-4078.
And if you need a handyman, and who doesn't, for odd jobs, big or small, Cup of Faith has many qualified individuals to choose from for a fraction of what you might pay elsewhere.
Well, I myself and Richard Fenton started a group called Helping Hands for Jesus. And that group went around helping everybody in need, everybody from the church and outsiders, anybody. We just went around helping everybody. And one day I decided that the talent that we were using with the people that we had in there, why not put into work?
Yeah.
And they have a lot of talent, so I figure I'm knowledgeable enough to get some people working, and all I have to do is ask people to hire me, and I hire them. And that's basically how I got started, to use their talent and my talent together and get some jobs going here in Pahrump.
I know that you have a wide array of different types of services that you offer. Tell me about those.
Okay, myself, I'm a tile expert. I do tile. I got painters in my group, heating, air conditioning guys, expansion, remodeling. I got guys that can do diversity type of jobs. Along with Richard Fenton, he's got a lot of people that he's in contact with also that I can utilize to help people and to, you know, to do the job that people need for less.
Yeah, exactly. And this helps the people get some work as well as a reasonable price and a good job done, just to do handyman type work around the house.
Absolutely. I consider myself a handyman because I'm also well-rounded, from electrical to cabinetry to plumbing. You name it. There's a couple of guys in our groups that are all around also. So we can get basically any type of job done, anything. And like I said, because we're Christian orientated or church orientated, we try to do it for less because we understand that people need. Yeah. You know, we understand the economy right now, and we understand that people don't have the money, you know. So a lot of times we do a lot of the needy jobs. We do it for free. If something is leaking in your house, call us. Yeah. Well, you know, you don't have to pay us. We'll get it done, you know. And you don't have to worry about like spending umpteen thousands of dollars just to get a minimal job done. So that's where we come in.
How do they call you?
Okay, my number is 702-335-7657.
And as you can see, Rick Vale is not here today, so we're going to be having weather from the desk after this message.
News 46 weather is brought to you by Healthcare Partners Medical Group, with 5 locations in Pahrump, local doctors and professional staff providing total care from infancy to seniors. News 46 weather is also brought to you by your local dairy farmers. Dairy products are very important in maintaining a healthy body. For more information, you can visit their website at nevadadairycouncil.org.
And today we had a high of 100 degrees with the winds out of the southwest at 7 miles per hour, gust up to 19 miles per hour, the barometric pressure at 29.91, the UV index 9, very high, humidity still high at 20%, sunrise at 5:47 a.m. and the record high back in 1943, 115 degrees. Tonight we're looking at a low of 79 degrees, the winds out of the south-southwest at 6 miles per hour, gust up to 16 miles per hour, humidity very high tonight at 29%, sunset at 7:55, and the record low 63 degrees back in 1944. And tomorrow we're looking at a high of 101, a low of 81, winds out of the south-southwest at 6 miles per hour, gust up to 14 miles per hour, and humidity still high at 22%, and the UV index is at 8, very high, which came down just a little bit because of those partly cloudy skies. Sunrise at 5:48 in the morning. And then we're looking at your 7-day forecast here, which has partly cloudy skies on Thursday, a high of 101, a low of 81. Friday, about the same, 103, and a low of 83. Saturday, we're having a chance of rain, which is at 20%, a high of 101 and a low of 83. It looks like Sunday we're going to actually get some rain with a high of 103 and a low of 80. Monday we're going back to partly cloudy skies with gusts up to 25 miles per hour, a high of 101 and a low of 88. Tuesday, windy with sunny skies and gusts up to 22 miles per hour, a high of 102, a low of 81. And then Wednesday we're looking at windy skies and gusts up to 24 miles per hour, a high of 108 and a low of 77. And we're looking at the worst weather across the nation, which is Big Hammock Point, Florida, with drenching thunderstorms. And the Nevada Department of Transportation and university researchers will host a public meeting tomorrow, July 28th, to gather public comments on a study of a potential future fuel tax replacement. The Vehicle Miles Traveled, or VMT study examines alternatives to allow Nevada to continue to fund public roads amid a transportation funding deficit and changing energy resource issues. By 2016, vehicle fuel efficiency will increase to an average 37 miles a gallon, and an estimated 20% of new vehicles will be alternative fuel vehicles. While an important positive for our environment, this will lead to less road funding collected from fuel taxes per gallon to fund public roads. Current funding for road construction, maintenance, and operations comes from fuel taxes. Today, due to inflation, these fuel taxes cover approximately half of the road construction, maintenance, and operations cost per gallon that they funded when last raised in 1992. The study reviews VMT fees as a potential fuel tax replacement. In this study, which is a simulation, participants will be charged a fee based on the number of miles driven instead of per gallon fuel taxes. Similar studies are being conducted in other states and by federal agencies. The public information meeting will be held once again tomorrow from 3:30 p.m. till 6:30 p.m. at the East Las Vegas Community Center Ballroom A, located at 250 Northeastern Avenue in Las Vegas. And stay tuned after the news for the Righteous Rock Show, which begins at 6 p.m. And that does it for this edition of News 46. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Have a wonderful night.